me because we are going to take a look at the Sims 4 Roadmap 2024, which is all about death. Oh, life and death. Let's say life and death. Now, I already tried this live stream a little while ago, and it died. Almost immediately it died. Crashed on me. I had like a power cut here in the neighborhood. And of course, when the power goes out, even for 1 second, everything goes down. I had to reset everything. Now, we are going to take a look here and see if I am up and running. I was up and running last time. I was just trying to pull it up. But we're going to make sure that, yeah, everything looks good. The sound seems okay. So let me drop this here. See what we've got. I'm trying to make sure that I have chat pulled up here. That's really a big part of what I'm working on here at the second. Here we go. All right, now we're ready to roll. Now we're finally ready to roll. I was ready to roll, like I said, about, I don't know, 10 minutes ago. Because I had to go through, of course, reset everything, pull up the game, set up the game exactly where I wanted it to be. So now we're rolling. Now we're here to take a look at this roadmap, which I like this roadmap. I'm going to tell you right now, I love the way they presented this as kind of a tarot card reading. It looks very cool. It looks like the stuff coming for the fall. God willing, it works. Fingers crossed, right? God willing, it all works. It looks really cool. It's something different. I very much like it. We have a super exciting amount of stuff coming over the next several weeks. Say like the next 6 weeks or so, I would say. We're going to get into that. We're going to take a look at the actual roadmap. We're not going to waste too much time here. We'll get rolling now right off the bat. Of course, we have a reading for the season. Naturally, it's a 5-card spread here. The very first card is, now this is the star card. I did pull up some descriptions of these cards. We'll look at that a little bit. In fact, I'm going to have to pull up my notes here. I'm not an expert on the tarot, but I do feel like, hopefully I didn't lose most of my notes with that power cut a second ago. I probably did, Let me pull this up here and see what we've got. Okay, I did pull up some descriptions of the tarot. I used let me see, I've got it written down here. I'm going to give credit to the website I went to just out of good nature. It's called the Tarot Guide. The tarotguide.com is where I pulled my descriptions from. So if you want to look up the tarotguide.com, thetarotguide.com, that's where these descriptions came from. I don't get anything from them. It's not a sponsorship or anything. That's just what I happened to use because that was the first thing that pulled up in a search engine. Now we have the star card here. The star card, we could read a lot of stuff into a tarot reading, right? We can read a lot of stuff into tarot cards. This represents the artist studio kit and the storybook nursery kit. I don't think there's a lot to read into this. I really don't. Unless we wanted to spread this card into the upcoming Life and Death pack. Now, with the star card, you can see here she's pouring out water on the ground and she's about to put her foot into a larger pool of water. That's sort of symbolic of dumping out the past and leaving the past behind. See, she's dumping out the past, which was smaller. It was a smaller container of water. It was less expansive. She's dumping that out. She's leaving it behind. She's going into this larger pool of water, which is her future. Okay, that's kind of the basic gist of that sort of card. But on tarotcard.com, of course, it says the star card can also indicate creativity and artistic flair. So now would be a great time to take up an artistic hobby. I don't know, using the Artist Studio pack, right? So I'm not going to read too much more into that card. I think it's referencing the Art Studio pack. The star also indicates hope for the future, which we have a nursery pack. Usually children are kind of our hope for the future. And so that's probably where that ties in. I don't think there's a whole lot more to read into that. I do hope, I will say, speaking of hope for the future, I do hope that with this storybook nursery kit here, that we get some, we don't usually get a lot of gameplay, usually with kits. Usually they're decorative or building or casts, right? I hope we get a little bit of gameplay there, and I hope since it's a nursery, it's going to be tied to infants and toddlers both. But maybe with the infants, we'll get some of that interaction we get with toddlers where they can start to play with toys and you see the little imaginative thought bubbles. Maybe there'll be some new stuff there, especially since it is a storybook nursery kit, right? It's a storybook nursery kit. There should be a lot of fantasy there, a lot of imagination pulled into it. I love building like little playrooms for my toddlers and my kids. Putting a lot of imagination into it. And so I'm really looking forward to that kit. Both of them I think will be cool. That one I'm really looking forward to, the nursery kit. Cannot wait. It's September 19th. There's not much else to say about that. This is pretty cut and dry. In literally like 11 days, less than 2 weeks, we are going to get 2 kits. Both of these kits. Can't wait. I think it is going to be pretty exciting. But that is pretty cut and dry, so we'll go ahead and move past that pretty quickly here. The next thing's also pretty cut and dry. It is a Reaper's Reward event. Now, a lot of people saw this as the Devil card. It's not, of course. It is the Judgment card. That was actually confirmed by Sim Guru Ninja on Twitter from the Maxis group there. You know, Sim Guru Dave. A lot of people know him as Dave as well. That was confirmed. It is a Judgment card. Now, we've had an event before that involved your Sims being either good or bad, right? Doing either good interactions or bad interactions. And depending on how they reacted, that led to your reward, right? That led to the reward. So we've kind of had something like that before. There is maybe a judgment aspect here. And I'll tell you with that card, the thing that was interesting about that particular card was there's a thing here, like it could be about a legal matter or a court case. You know, you could also look at it as sort of being tried, right? Now, it says, if you have acted honorably and told the truth, this matter should be resolved in your favor. If you have been dishonest, don't expect things to go your way. You need to clear your conscience and try to make amends for your misdeeds. So that's an interesting take. If we get a really expansive sort of event, and we don't always, you know, our last event was just checking in, right? Our last event was just activate the game like, I don't know, 8 days out of, well, I don't even remember how it worked. 8 days out of 6 weeks or something. And you got these wood-toned, you know, sort of items, which I love the items, by the way, from that event. I do really like those items. The event was like, you know, it was not really much. But we could get a really good event here. We could get an event here, or maybe your sim has to go make up to somebody. Maybe however they treat people in, you know, during this event while it's going on is going to lead. I mean, ideally, you would say maybe you have to go up to the cow plant and he's either going to reward you for whatever you did, right, with something good, or maybe he'll eat you up. Maybe he'll gobble you up. That's kind of my thought on that, is that you're going to literally be judged by the cow plant coming up with this event. And again, I don't think there's a lot more to read into that card. It's a judgment card. You're going to be judged. And if it's fun, you know, if it's funny, maybe he'll eat you, right? If you don't pass your test. Now, going up here, we're coming up to, I would really say the next one here, this is Death. It is the Life and Death expansion pack. I also feel like this is pretty cut and dry. We've got an expansion pack coming. I mean, it's kind of crazy because we've got kits coming. A week after that, we've got an event coming. Basically about maybe 10 days or so, probably not even that. A few days after the end of the event, we've got an expansion pack coming. We have our first look coming on October the 3rd. Now, again, with this particular card, we can read a whole lot into it. We don't know what's going to be in the expansion pack. It's all theoretical. We're all just having some guesswork right now. Death, of course, in the tarot does not mean death. It means a major change. It means a transition. It means moving from one point to another. It's very interesting here in our Sims Tarot deck, which incidentally, a Sims Tarot deck would be very cool for the Sims 3 or the Sims 3 store. For the Sims store, that we could order a real deck of tarot cards done with the Sims like this. I'd love that, by the way. That'd be excellent. But in this case, we can see the card is kind of representative of change and transition. He's carrying actually, it looks like the death flower, right? Because that's how you can come back to life after death. We also have a butterfly here. Butterflies, of course, are definitely representative of a metamorphosis, a change, a growing from a caterpillar into a butterfly. So I would say that my hope based on this, and it's definitely just, supposition, it's just kind of playing around with the idea. We're going to get like a reincarnation aspect in this pack where this is how I imagine it. You die, and then you could choose for your sim to be reborn either as an infant or either as a newborn, like a little, like, burrito baby, or as an infant in another family in the game, where you could pick for them to just go to that family next, and you could play them again through another family with that family's dynamics. I think that would be really, really cool if that's where we're headed with this pack, with this idea of rebirth, with this idea of metamorphosis. I think that's going to be really awesome. Now, a lot of people are looking forward to maybe an afterlife world. I'd also love to see that. That'd be super cool. But I really would look more forward to reincarnation, a reincarnation aspect in this game where your sim's going to die and you could place them. Maybe you could place them in the same household they were in already, but you could place them as an infant or a newborn, little burrito baby in a new household. I think that'd be awesome. Now, the interesting thing here is, will we get a career with this? Will it be the Grim Reaper? A lot of people have wanted a Grim Reaper career. There's no evidence here that we will. There is a Grim Reaper on this card. Is that evidence? Is that evidence that we're going to get a Grim Reaper career? No, it's not, because that's just kind of the way a lot of death cards look in the tarot. It would be great. I think a lot of people want that. I think it's more likely we'll get a tarot card reader career in the new expansion pack. Hopefully active. I hope so. Mostly because tarot cards, psychic ability, stuff like that, that's how you commune with the dead, right? So it does seem like that might be something that would tie into that pack. Sims could come to you, or you as a sim could maybe commune with the dead, commune with your departed loved ones after they've been released from the mortal coil, and see about bringing them back or going to visit them in maybe this otherworldly place. You can call it heaven. You can call it purgatory, maybe. Maybe there's a purgatory. That'd be something, right? Most of our sims deserve purgatory based on what we have them do, but maybe something like that. Beyond that, I don't have a lot of... We just don't know a lot here. The card doesn't give us very many clues beyond, like I said, the sort of reincarnation aspect, the idea of change and metamorphosis and growth and a major transition. So now we're going to come up to what I am really interested in, and that is this world card. We're coming up here with the world and free updates. And I think that's important. I've seen a lot of people theorizing on this, and usually they focus on update. Like maybe we're getting a world creator, right? Like an editing tool for the worlds as an update. I think there's going to be updates, though, and I think there's going to be at least 4 updates, I'm going to say right off the bat. These 4 here, I think these 4 worlds are going to be updated in some fashion. We have Sulani, we have Mount Como Rebi, we have Strangerville, and we have what I think is Forgotten Hollow, and I'll tell you why here in a second, but some people have suggested that might be Brightchester or even the Magical Realm. I can see that a little bit because it's not terribly distinct, but I do think it's Forgotten Hollow. There's a reason why these worlds are on here. That's what I think. I think they are tied to an update, whether it's going to be one big update for all 4 worlds or 4 separate updates touching on each world. What I would like to see is a sort of pack refresh for these packs, maybe in a fashion. One thing that 3 of these worlds have in common, these 3 here, is that there are places that you can't reach in those worlds that people feel like you should be able to reach. Now, the world card, let me pull it up here. It is, you have a couple of things here. Let me read through it real quick. It is a travel world. It represents new worlds opening up for you, right? New worlds opening up for you so that you can expect to be welcomed by people in the countries you travel to, right? Now, there's two things there. It's new worlds opening up, and it is how do they put it here? Expect to be welcomed by the people in the countries you travel to. There's also the idea of bringing a whole new set of challenges because you have completed a challenge, right? Now, these four worlds, we have Solani, Komorebi, Forgotten Hollow, Strangerville. They're all very unique. The thing with Solani, I'm going to pull up the Sims here real quick. Let me take a look at our Sims 4 here. Let me drop the updates. There's my guys, Reg and Max. We're going to have Reg first travel to Komorebi. Actually, that's Max. I guess I was using Max there. That's fine. He'll grab his dad. We're going to travel over here to Solani, actually. We're going to go Solani first. It's kind of an example here of... This is going to be more pertinent in other worlds, but we'll come here first just to say. Solani, when it came out, was a disappointment to a lot of people because you could not go down into the ocean. You could not go under the water. You could as a rabbit hole, but you could not see anything really underneath there, swimming underneath there. My thought is an update to Solani that would tie into the world card of exploring new worlds, right? Exploring new places is... Maybe they would put a lot there that would be an underwater lot. So instead of purely going into a rabbit hole, you could actually go into an underwater lot and explore. That is kind of a big update. It kind of falls under a pack refresh, but we haven't really had very many pack refreshes, so maybe they're going to do a selection of those tied to these worlds. And that's my thought with Solani. We're going to get, I hope, this is a big hope. This is a lot of reading into it. A new world to explore in Solani, and it's going to be the underwater world. Now, we're going to have them go ahead and go over to Forgotten Hollow next. Forgotten Hollow, let me go ahead and we're going to go over here to an actual lot in Forgotten Hollow so we can look at the full map. Forgotten Hollow, back in the day when it first came out, there was, again, a little bit of disappointment. Not a lot. That was actually a really good pack, Vampires, for a game pack. But there was a little bit of disappointment because the map gives you this idea that there are 3 areas that are kind of, kind of interesting, and people wanted to go there and we wanted to explore, but you can't get there. But it looks like, especially in 2 of the areas, that you really should be able to. One, over here on this little island, we have this mysterious coffin. Or not coffin. It looks a little bit like a coffin in there, doesn't it? I guess it's just a new grave. But we have this sort of mysterious grave with this mysterious tombstone. And everyone kind of thought, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could get out there and there's like something there, something special? And of course you can't. Couldn't reach it back in the day. I don't think you still can. The water's not routable. You can fish here, but you can't swim here. Now, one thing that might be great as an update to this particular world, to explore, right? To explore new worlds. Maybe we could go out here and explore this island and find something. Even more so, there is an area over here on the map on this side. In fact, 2 areas on this side of the map that, again, people were really hopeful for and really expecting a lot out of it, and nothing came of it. You can see it right here, right off the bat. We've got a bridge to nowhere, but even more importantly, we have this cave. You know, we have this interesting cave here. It looks just like, in a lot of ways, a cave from Oasis, right? And the cave in Oasis leads to a secret lot. It leads to this lot that you find, you know, in the like an old mine, right? And I go there on vacation times with my Sims. You can fish, can kind of explore a little bit. It's a lot of fun. So a great update to this, again, if we're looking at pack refreshes, if we're looking at exploring new worlds, if we're looking at the 4 worlds on that card being integral to that card and to the updates, which I think they are. I don't think they would be there otherwise. Maybe this will finally open up. Maybe it'll finally lead somewhere, and maybe this will lead somewhere. Maybe the bridge will lead to a new lot, or maybe it'll have cross-pack compatibility where the bridge might lead to, I don't know, the other world, right? The sort of... the afterlife world for the Life and Death pack. Maybe it would tie into that. If you own this pack, it would tie into the Life and Death pack, and this bridge would lead there. Maybe it will lead to, we could see with these sort of portal-looking places or this bridge, maybe finally tying together the occult worlds so that it could lead to Moonwood Mill or Glimmerbrook or the magical realm in Glimmerbrook to kind of tie those occult areas together, because Moonwood also has kind of a portal like this. And of course, Glimmerbrook has a ton of portals themselves, like the gateways. So that's my thought with that. My thought is that this would be a great pack refresh, great way to explore new worlds. It definitely makes sense. It might be too much. It might be more than we can reasonably expect from an update, maybe. But I am really hopeful that it's not, that we really would get that. Now, we're going to move over to Como Rebi. Como Rebi is another world that this world has a really strange, unreachable spot. We're going to drop in here. We'll drop into the cafe. And people kind of, I wouldn't say they were undone, but it was kind of like, what is this? Why would you guys do this? Why would you kind of build this aspect here? And then it, pretty much leads to nothing, right? Oh, almost knocked him over. Sorry, Death. Let me pull up here. We're going to go out. Now, it is up over here. So this is an area, much like in Forgotten Hollow, much like in Solani, that's an unreachable area. Now, you can cheat and teleport yourself up there, but you can see it looks like it almost could have been designed to walk up here from here, right? So the idea, again, whether it's a pack update, pack refresh, or if it's just to unlock areas and worlds for further exploration, new areas for exploration, if maybe this will be opened, right? That's my thought. That's another way it kind of ties in these four worlds together and would be a way of sort of opening up more of Mount Como Rebi. They could add stuff to this lot. They could make it an editable lot where you could build a home on it, stuff like that. But definitely they could open up so you can come here and grow stuff, I guess. I don't know what all's up here. I think I did kind of teleport up here at one point. It's got rocks, whatever. But it would be nice if they put something special there that would open up this area too. Like we want to open up the areas in those other two worlds. Now, the last world is Strangerville. Strangerville, what can I say here? Let's travel over there. Strangerville was an interesting pack. I think it's the only pack I would say that is a pack with a distinct beginning and end, right? It's a pack that you play through. So you start it and you end it. Now, one of the things about the world card is not just representing new worlds opening up. It's also it can be about, let me read here. This is what it says. Can represent the completion of a challenge, right? Which is what Strangerville was. It was the completion of a challenge. You had this challenge, you go through the motions, through the mechanics, and you solve the mystery. But success can bring a whole new set of challenges, right? Or worries. So make sure you're not carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. But I think what we could have with Strangerville, now, Strangerville is not so much a new spot that we could open up to explore. Although in theory, maybe we could open up this part here, this little portal back here on the hill up here. It's currently not open. And I think it's really just meant to represent a way into the crater, like that's how they drive into the crater. But if we got pack refreshes, one of the complaints with Strangerville is like, once you've done it, it's one and done. And once you've done it, you've done it. In theory, again, this is a big reach because it might be too much of an update. It might be more than we can reasonably expect for free from an update because there's nothing for free. Everything costs. Everything costs that they do. It costs to pay the programmers to do anything in the game. Maybe we get a part 2. Maybe Mother comes back. Maybe something else happens. The other thing I thought is they could put a portal in here that maybe would lead to 6am. so that you have two ways of getting there, either through Get to Work or through a portal here in Strangerville. Maybe you complete some sort of small challenge or small sort of challenge. That's the only word. You complete some sort of small challenge, you get to that portal. Hi, Andre. Hello. We're looking at the roadmap. I'm sorry, I just now saw that you posted a chat there. I'm kind of caught up in the moment, like always. The Sims 4 put out a roadmap for the next 4 months of what's going to be released. So I'm kind of doing some theorizing based on that roadmap. It was set up around tarot cards, and one of the tarot cards was the world and had the 4 worlds I'm talking about listed on it. So if we could maybe go to 6am, maybe a little bit more developed 6am, a little more expanded 6am by coming here and maybe doing a part 2 of the mother storyline. Now that's a reach. That's a big reach. But it makes sense with Strangerville, again, to kind of tie it into sort of maybe 4 sort of pack refreshes coming with these 4 worlds that the packs represent, right? That's my thought. Now, beyond that, of course, we have, I did talk about death. We definitely are getting a Life or Death pack, like on Halloween, I think, on the 31st. So it ought to be pretty cool, I think. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, one more thing with the worlds is there has been this idea of new opportunities, but also I think it's just something like endless possibilities, right? Endless possibilities. So there's this idea we might get a world editor. Now that is a big stretch. That is a big stretch. I think it's really tough to edit worlds in The Sims 4. It's not like The Sims 3, and I don't think we'll ever get a Sims 3 level create a world like we did. We're not going to get that for The Sims 4. We might get the ability to change public spaces, add and remove things from public spaces. We might get the ability to make lots bigger or smaller. So, lots are set into a particular spot, and it might not be possible to place new lots, but maybe it might be possible to slightly make them larger or smaller. Maybe based on the amount of room around it, I could kind of almost see that. Maybe we might get the ability to change the backgrounds of the worlds. Again, maybe that's an easier thing for the team to accomplish. And lastly, I kind of feel like if we're going to get some sort of world editing, maybe we'd finally get the ability, if you own seasons, to freeze the season, right? To freeze the season on a particular season for a particular world. And right now we can make seasons long or short, but we can't literally say we want it to always be summer in Oasis. We can't do that. So that might be something that we could do and might come along. Yes, we are in September, and actually coming up in like 11 days. That's our first thing. We're getting 2 new kits in 11 days, so it's coming fast. Like a week after that, we're going to have a big event on the 24th, I think it said. And then maybe like a week after that event's done, we'll have the first look at the new expansion pack on October the 3rd. So a lot of stuff is coming really fast. Actually, I've got a test I got to do today. Actually, I have a test to do today in my history course at university. And I'm going to have to get on that after this particular stream. But we could get a world editor like that. The other thing was, let me see if I can find it here. The world card in the tarot can represent new worlds opening up for you, so you can expect to be welcomed by the people in the countries you travel to. Okay, so expect to be welcomed by the people in the countries you travel to. To me, there was a little bit of a, I don't know if it was a slip or deliberate or what, but like the CEO of The Sims some months ago made a comment about expanding The Sims into like a global social environment, like a sort of social interaction on a global scale type environment. We had that in The Sims 3, where you really could socially interact even while the game was going on with other people, and it was global. So maybe that could be all this world card is. Although, like I said, it's updates. So I think that could be an update along with something for each of the 4 worlds listed on that card. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he mentioned it. He said it was coming. I think it's going to come. And I think that could be something tied to this world card. And I would say basically, I would say really at this point, I think that's about all these sort of looking through my notes. But I think that's probably about all the sort of theories I have when it comes to the world card. I think we're getting updates related to the 4 worlds shown, but then we may also get a world editor, and we may also get this sort of world, sort of social network, a world social network. It has been kind of hinted at, and I think that, yeah, that's probably a good bet. And I'll bet, I'm going to say right now, a lot of people were disappointed with the Sims 4 sort of lack of enthusiasm around the birthday, right? The Sims 4 just had a birthday, it just had its 10th anniversary. In fact, there was zero mention of it, like literally zero from Maxis and EA, literally zero mention of it. My thought is maybe some of the updates that are coming, maybe they originally were intended. Maybe there'll be bigger updates because maybe they were originally intended for the 10th anniversary and they're just not done. If they're not full yet and they're just not done, you don't want to release a world editor or a worldwide social networking tool or even a major pack refresh as a free update and it doesn't work, right? Especially for the anniversary, the 10th anniversary. So my thought is that maybe the reason why the 10th anniversary just passed unnoticed, the updates weren't ready. And if they came out and they said, well, happy 10th anniversary or something small, and people would get mad about that too. Anyway, that's my thought on that. Oh, your birthday's the 19th of October. Well, you know what you need, right? You need the new pack. That's for the new expansion pack coming out on the 31st, Have a good, Andre, thanks for stopping by. Good luck on your test. Yes, feel free to stop by later. I always keep the replay on archive, of course. Good luck on your test. Good luck on my test coming up too. I think I'll do okay. But yeah, have a good afternoon or good evening, kind of late afternoon where you are over there in Europe. Have a great time with it. Good luck. Now, so that's where I think we stand with that. There is only one small thing here. We're going to go ahead and pull up. We'll pull up the roadmap here and we'll finish this off, right? So we have free updates. We continue through our tarot reading, which ends with just to be continued, right? That's it. It's just to be continued. There's nothing else here. We could read a whole bunch of stuff into it. We could read a whole bunch of hopes into it, like really hoping. Maybe, all of this stuff is kind of set, except for updates, it's kind of set to be done October 31st. So maybe by the end of the year, maybe to stimulate holiday sales, maybe there'll be another stuff pack. Maybe there'll be another game pack. Maybe it'll be a tarot card reading career stuff pack or game pack. Yeah, maybe. I think we have absolutely no idea and no way of knowing. It makes more sense to me that the tarot card reader career, if there is one, would be in the expansion pack. But I could be wrong. If they really want to flesh it out and they really want it to be more active, more interesting, a stuff pack or a game pack does make more sense, right? For that sort of career. So we might get that. But we really don't have any idea. We know there's something. There's a 5th card here that's really not shown. It is to be continued. They're going to tell us about it later, and that's all we really know. That's all we know. It's to be continued, September through December. Now, I'm going to say real quick, hit like, subscribe, and notify, please. We will continue to follow these developments. They're coming fast and furious. September the 19th, very, very close for 2 new kits. We've got September the 24th, very, very close for the big judgment event, right? Judgment event. And then October the 3rd, 1 month, not even one complete month, about 4 weeks from now, we're going to have our first look at the Life and Death pack, which I'm really excited by. I mean, you guys know I'm a little nervous about EA marketing, being honest, and I'm a little nervous about any more packs showing up and they work, all work on the first day. But I am super excited. I hope it does. This was one of the packs I really wanted was Life and Death. They did a big survey about this, I don't know, years ago now at this point, and that's what I really wanted to see, and it didn't win. Maybe it was like a community vote. Probably it was a community vote, I think. It did not win, but I thought, hey, it'd be so cool. It'd be something different, something we haven't had in any Sims iteration so far, right? We haven't had it so far. So I'm personally really excited. I can't wait till it gets here. I can't wait to see it. And I hope that you will see it with me. I hope you'll hit like, subscribe, and notify, whether you're watching right now or watching in the future on archive. Come back, see it with me. Let's go over the details in the future and all the new stuff coming. And until then, thanks for watching.